record this. And I would love for you to, since we only have a few people on right now, hopefully people will be joining us. I hope they're not stuck on some other Zoom link because there was trouble with the original Zoom page. Not sure how it's going to go, but anyway, welcome. Give me a chat and let me know where you're joining in from. Just text into the chat where you're joining me from. Let us know, share with us where you're, joining us from, what part of the country. Hi, Joanne. Let us know where you're joining from. Virginia. Awesome. And like I said, we've had about 30 people register for this. And I hope to God that the Zoom link thing didn't get all messed up. All right, Barb's from upstate New York. And how about Don Cherie? Is it Don Cherie? Is that the right name? Is it Cherie or Cherie Don? Let us know where you're joining us from. And Joanne's from Massachusetts. She's from Tiverton. Vegas. Don Cherie. Is it Don Cherie? Yes. Is it? Yes. Don Cherie. Okay. Awesome. Well, we'll just allow people to join in as they, okay, Cherie, terrific. Some people who have found out about this training through Midlife Love Giveaway, my friend Junie Moon, who is a love coach, and I had a giveaway of an Eating as Meditation PDF guide, and it was a 3-day guide to learn how to eat as a meditation. So Christine and Barb, if you're able, we would love to see your beautiful faces, but if you don't want to, that's okay too. But would love some interaction. And so I have like amazing stuff in store for you today because it's really the best of my best. And so happy to see you, Joanne. Joanne is a client of mine. So, so 5 golden keys to make peace with food. And the reason why I'm doing this training, because I know how hard it is to be on a diet roller coaster and to change the way we eat. And what I've learned for almost over, 15 years working with clients is that it's not just about eat this and not that. It's so much more because it pervades all aspects of our life. And so what I really found was the magic formula to really be able to change our choices is to really re-identify with food and nourishment and take a look at unhealthy patterns of behavior that we might not be fully aware of, and creating new reward systems and putting things into practice. So in order to have sustainable weight loss and to really feel good in our bodies and really feel good about ourselves, it really starts with you. It starts with me. It starts with us. And so this little picture on the left of the slide, I love that because it's about open hands. So I would love for you to put your hands up like this, because this is about receiving. And what I found was a lot of women, like you're, receiving, like, gonna scoop up some water. So open your hands up and be ready to receive. And be ready to expand your ways of thinking and be ready to receive self-worth and confidence and a whole new vision of yourself. So all of my coaching programs is about an internal transformation. I go over the mechanics around why you have cravings, why you can't lose weight, what macros you should be eating, and what's the pace that you should be going in. So we get into all the science and dynamics of that as well. But when we are in receiving mode, we are so much more successful for the long term, and it's about permanence. So NLP is one of the coaching certifications that I have, and it's called Neuro Linguistic Programming. And I use this technique to really be able to help you to redefine things, put things into new context. And it's about language, it's about our understanding and our framework and how we see the world. So when we perceive in our mind that and have a disbelief that this is not possible, what happens is you've already lost the battle. And so a lot of the coaching training programs that I do on throughout the year is really about finding your self-confidence again and self-worth again. Okay. So I don't have a tech with me, so I'm admitting people as they come rolling in. So here's why is making peace with food so important, right? So we have over 100 occasions, eating occasions in one year. And, we have only 52 weeks in a year. Just think about birthdays, Thanksgiving, the holidays, reunions, travel experiences, charities, networking, business. A lot of times people have eating meetings at work, and it's social and it's fun. It's a way of connecting. And those are all wonderful, beautiful things. But for those people who are really struggling with being able to master their mindset around their relationship with food, this can be a challenge. And it's totally understandable because food is around us all the time. And breaking bread has so many meanings. It's emotional, it's psychological, it's spiritual, religious. It's a source of familiarity and comfort. It's celebratory, it's ancestral, it has family traditions. This is really just breaking bread and having communal social eating occasions can be super challenging. And what are some of the definitions? And I would love for you to chat into the screen if you can, into the chat box. What are your current definitions? How do you define food? Maybe there's some things that aren't on here that you may be thinking of. How do you define food? So a lot of times food feels restrictive when you're dieting. Food comes with shame and guilt. Oh, I better not eat that because I'm going to gain weight. Or, it's a reward, it's a treat, right? We often say this is a treat. And great, um, it's emotional comfort. Yes. It's emotional. What else? I got a lot of votes for emotional. Anything else that's, on here that's resonating with you? What else are your current definitions of food? When you think of food, what does it mean for you? So all of these things, current definitions, come from a mindset of people who have been struggling with dieting for a long time. Thank you, Monica. Security. Yeah. Safety and security. It's about comfort and knowing something and knowing that's the standby and something that's reliable, that's always going to be there, right? And sometimes food can represent that as well. So all of these things come, these behavioral, feeling, emotional, um, you know, obsessive thoughts about food, like you constantly have to have food around. So, oh my God, I'm going to starve, or oh my God, like I need to have food or else I'm going to be hypoglycemic and die and fall down, and clients who've come to me, they stash food everywhere. And one of the first things I say is, go into your drawers at work or into your home office and remove all those granola bars that's hanging around because you think you're going to starve to death. Okay, maybe you can relate to this, or you need that 3 o'clock snack, so you got it stashed in your car on the way to picking up your kids, or on their way to running errands. So food is around us all the time, and that relationship with food can turn into unhealthy patterns where it becomes obsessive, and there's shame and guilt around that, and there's judgment around that after some time, because after you're gaining weight and you're having difficulty changing that around, and you feel like you don't have the control, then there's punishment involved with that and self-loathing. So I hear about this all the time. And hey, I've been there too. Planning what you are going to eat for the next day. Okay, yeah, that's food. Yeah, planning for your families and your spouses, knowing what to do. That is a good definition. So I want you to look at these new definitions. Imagine if food meant something completely different. Think about your favorite food, or just think about food in general, like what you eat every single day or during the week. What if food can mean balance? What if food can mean liberation? What if it can mean grace? What if it can mean inner peace and compassion? So just want to go back to this and say, this is all the negative definitions around food that we often associate with food when things go out of control. When we lose control over our plates, when we lose control over the world around us, these definitions come into play, and they play a number in our brain. And these associations stick with us. They bleed into our subconscious. And these are the things that replay that negative Nelly in our brain that comes out and says, gosh, you shouldn't have eaten that. Why did you do that? And you're beating yourself up over and over again. So the difference between this negative inner critic that tells you, is judging you and is shaming you, some of these words come about. But the new definitions can look like this. It's about motivation, self-respect, freedom. It's about having power and self-compassion. So why is there a 98% failure rate for dieters? It's about misinformation, not having all the facts, habits, disbelief. Disbelief is huge. Many clients come to me and they don't feel like, they're like, oh, here we go again. We're going to go through this diet thing. Let me try this one more time, right? And they are in disbelief that it's totally possible to lose up to 50 pounds of body fat and completely change your life. But I want to tell you that it is possible. And, there's resignation that comes with it. There's actual chemical food addiction as well. And a lot of times when we are disconnected with ourselves, we're operating out of scarcity and fear. And when we're disconnected, we're gravitating to food, and the relationship with food becomes distorted. So are you eating your way through anxiety and stress, boredom, overwhelm? Maybe you're overscheduled. Maybe there's abandonment issues, maybe fear of uncertainty, toxic relationships. All the things you said in terms of emotional, it's a reward, it's a security, it feels safe. And how many times have you found yourself in the kitchen late at night or even in the middle of the day, just like really stuffing your face and not having any consciousness. It's like self-punishment. And maybe it's out of loneliness and feeling rejected and not accepted. So here is an opportunity tonight to really show up for yourself. And um, we want to turn that around. I would love for you to feel accepted and whole and self-compassionate and having grace. So I would love to hear from anybody who would like to share. If you want, I'm happy to do a 2-minute laser coaching support. But what is your biggest barrier and challenge right now? Does anybody want to share and unmute and show up on the camera? Tell us your name, what you've been struggling with, how long. Any interest in sharing? All right, Monica, where are you? Can we how you
Oh,
do?
is it okay? Is it okay if I just do the audio?
Sure, of course.
Okay. Mine would be motivation.
Okay.
I've in the past I've exercised several times. Sometimes I would walk an hour and then I'd this was years back.
Mm-hmm.
But I've lost the motivation.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have the motivation.
Okay. So what motivates you to do the things that you love?
Um, Probably I would say the joy from it,
Mm-hmm.
the gratification,
Mm-hmm.
the happiness.
Mm-hmm. And so when you go on a journey, to go on a diet to lose some weight, you don't find joy. What do you find?
Honestly, I don't do diets. I
Okay.
don't believe in diets. I
Mm-hmm.
believe in eating what you want, but in moderation.
Mm-hmm.
But I do have some addictions like to caffeine and to sugar and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. Um, but no, I don't believe in diets.
Okay. All right. That's great. Dieting is not, yeah, it's a short-term, very short-term fix. So I'm glad you don't believe in diets. And what that tells me is that you're very intuitive, and the emotional reward behind the efforts that you make are really important. The emotional rewards, right? And so when you go about taking on a challenge for yourself, you need to feel the gratification behind it and um, the joy behind it, right? And you're
Yeah.
saying that it's difficult for you to motivate. So just give us an example of something that you've challenged yourself with that you were motivated with. Maybe it's at work, maybe it's a family event. Was there something that you felt motivated to do? And how is that different?
I guess I was motivated to take care of my dog because he recently became ill, and I'm always motivated to take care of him,
Mm,
probably because he's one of the things that I love the most,
mhm,
and he's always been there, he's always there, and it's just important for for him to get healthy again and to be um, the dog, well, not the dog that he was, but just, he's an elderly dog and I
mm,
want him to be comfortable and stuff before he passes on.
mm. I love that. Yes, our pets are, our extension of our family. It's a part of who we are, right? Um, so I'm wondering, you will do anything for your dog. What's your dog's name, Monica?
His name is Bubby, like
Bubby.
Bubbles, but Bubby.
Bubby. So you love Bubby so much, and you want Bubby to feel comfortable and to feel safe and to feel loved and to feel supported, right?
Absolutely.
Hmm. So how about Monica? Is she feeling loved, supported, and safe? who's taking care of Monica? You don't have to answer that and share that if you're not comfortable. But just like the love that you have for Bubby, you will do anything to make sure Bubby is safe and loved. So this is an example of when we feel motivated to do something, you know, we will go to the ends of the earth to do it when we feel passionate about it. When is the last time you felt passionate and felt like $1,000,000 and said, I feel safe and supported. I can do anything. So I just want you to think about that for a minute. And we can come back to that, but it's the same exact thing. It's the same exact thing. When we are so passionate, die hard, like Bubba has to feel accepted and safe. It's the same thing. I need to feel safe and accepted. I need to feel supported. And oftentimes what happens in our lives is we forget about ourselves. We're focused on Bubba and everybody else, right? And in midlife, this does happen in our busy lives. But we don't really evaluate what's missing. And this is what this entire night is about getting the right information and really starting with yourself. I hope that was helpful, Monica. Just keep that thought in mind. We can come back to you. All right. Thank you for sharing so much. So there's many different causes for food cravings. You know, it could be poor diet since childhood, lack of nutrient-rich foods, chronic stress, pharmaceutical drugs, and depression, anxiety, so many factors. It could be seasonal affective disorder. It could be about from a medical injury that you're not actually, you know, you're getting cravings because our bodies tell us what we need. And when our intuition antennas are not like, you know, honed in and tracking on the right place, basically we're completely unaware that where our cravings are coming from and what they're telling us. And in the coaching programs and in this training, it's about really tuning in. It's really about tuning in. And I think successful weight loss comes with intuition and learning how to intuitively eat and intuitively collect clarity around where our patterns are breaking down, where our behaviors are breaking down. So food can be physical, it can be emotional. And when we have physical hunger, it actually can be postponed for a great deal of time, you know, and our bodies are an amazing system and it's so efficient that with very little, we could survive for a while. And so physical hunger can be postponed and is very gradual, okay? And emotional hunger comes on very suddenly and it feels urgent. Like, I need this pizza right now. I need this chocolate ice cream, damn it. You know, and there's no satisfaction that comes with it. So there's no limitation. It's just you need to have it. And if you look up the definition of addiction, addiction is about you will go to whatever extent to actually get it. And there is no tuning in terms of your intuition and what is it you're really craving. So imagine intuitively and effortlessly losing weight and getting to a healthy body composition. And what is a healthy body composition in your midlife? If you're 40, 50, 60s, or even in your 30s, you really want to stay strong. You want to have healthy lean tissue and muscle mass so that you when you're 70 or 80 years old can actually, be ballroom dancing and not in a walker. That's the difference. So right now, what you're doing right now seeds the next 20 years of your life. And it's that serious. It really has that kind of correlation. So imagine feeling confident and more sure of yourself, loving yourself more and feeling positive about your self-image. And a lot of times, when clients start with me and they have 50, almost 100 pounds of body fat to lose, secretly inside they are self-loathing and they're hating themselves, and they just, have the very poor self-image from whatever stories that they've heard all their life, or from a relationship partner, or from their parents. These are old embedded stories in our subconscious that continue to replay. And until we can actually reprogram that script, our feelings towards ourselves, and to whatever extent we want to care for ourselves, is always going to be sabotaged and blocked. So how do we do that? Just I just want you to take a second to think about, what does it feel like to feel like $1,000,000? It's funny because on Facebook the other day I posted something after getting my hair cut, and I was on Newbury Street in Boston, which is like this little fancy street, right? And I took a selfie and I was like, I feel like $1,000,000. Thank you. You know, when's the last time you felt like that? Anybody want to share in the chat? Tell me, when is the last time you felt like $1,000,000? And what was it about? Please share, for even if it's just, even if it was for a moment in time, you're like, wow, I feel like $1,000,000. When's the last time you felt like that? Okay. It's okay if you don't want to share. It's been a while then, I'm guessing. But you know what? I want to reassure you that it's totally freaking possible to feel like $1,000,000 again. If you forgot what that feels like, this entire training and tonight and tomorrow night is about training your mind to start feeling like $1,000,000, and that is totally achievable. So, um, do you believe it's possible? So Joanne, I didn't know you were coming, but I had a little, you have your little testimonial, just to warn you. So Joanne is a client of mine. She graduated and she has had significant fat loss, and has maintained her body composition and has been incredibly successful. Meet Joanne. So she gave me permission to share this. She didn't know I was going to share this tonight. Sorry about that, Joanne. I didn't know you were coming. But you gave me permission. Hey, we have to celebrate this. So Joanne, what I love about this, she says, food is no longer an addiction, but something I truly enjoy. The healthy choices, and her life is forever changed. She has gotten off her statins, her high blood pressure medication, acid reflux medication. She's healed her gut. She's totally metabolically healed herself over several months of losing the weight. And weight loss seems like a vain or a vanity journey, but it's not about that. And my passion is truly about giving people hope again and prevention, because when you are significantly obese or carrying more than 20 pounds of body fat and growing and getting bigger and bigger every year, you're really putting your life at risk. And if you're in your 40s, 50s, and 60s, now is the time to be ballroom dancing and having a great time and enjoying yourself. And, you know, it's about really changing the mindset. And it starts with mindset. It's about the mechanics, but sometimes we're in such disbelief, we have to change the belief system to begin with. So here's golden key one. So, number one, it's so important to take pause. This is about those antennas. We need to hone in on those antennas, the intuition antennas. What is really happening on a daily basis? Noticing your daily patterns. Um, so, oops, sorry about that. So this is Nhan Hanh is a Buddhist monk who died actually recently. If you don't know him, but he's written lots of books and goes by Buddhist philosophy. And I really love incorporating Buddhist philosophy into my coaching work and into really looking at our relationship with food. In Buddhist culture, offering food to the monk symbolizes the action of goodness. And if you have no opportunity to support that practice of spirituality, then you are somehow left in the realm of darkness. In the realm of darkness, where we get robbed in the back alleys of our mind, we get hijacked. And it's about offering and symbolizing the action of goodness. And that open hand gesture is about receiving. It's about goodness. It's about serving yourself. And in Buddhist philosophy, there are 4 nutriments. And Buddha explains there are 4 kinds of nutriments which enable us to grow and maintain a healthy life. Number 1, feeding your body with fuel to perform at your best. Feeding your senses in terms of your consumption, noticing patterns, how you eat, your habits and behaviors, and feeding your thoughts and feeding your motivations. Knowing what drives you and motivates you. Monica shared that she will go to the ends of the earth to help Bubba, to love Bubba up before he goes away. That's a major motivation. So think about that for yourself. What is really driving you? What would be your drive and motivation to turn your health around? To start taking even baby steps towards the right direction in terms of feeding your thoughts. You know, we end up crowding our thoughts and mindset with tons of television, noise, constant bombardment of information. And we can't even hear our own thoughts. So those limiting beliefs that we've been living with for 30, 40, 50 years, 30, 40, 50 years is hanging around. And when we crowd our brain with all this other noise, that inner critic in us is still existing and going to creep out every single time we feel scared, unsafe, or unsupported. So these are huge tenets, 4 tenets of vitality that incorporate really utilizing your senses in terms of the manner in which you eat, like eating as a meditation, actually putting your fork down and breathing and noticing these patterns, your speed of eating, where you're eating, the manner in which you're eating is huge. Monica says living life is a motivation. Places to go. I'd like to make it to Bali next year for an event. Awesome. I would love that too. I'll see you there, Monica. Yeah, that's a motivation, but it's not about the location. Something about Bali is exciting to you and drives you there. Maybe it's about spirituality. Maybe it's about something that you've been missing. So, did you want to say something, Monica?
It's being able to finally meet people that I've met online and become a community together. And I'd like to meet them because they're friends and family.
I love that. That's wonderful. Yes. I mean, during COVID times, we had no other choice but to connect over Zoom. And now we're connecting with people around the world in this community. Whatever virtual community that we have is support. It's a container of support. And it's critical to actually having the support to feel loved and accepted. So when you make eating meditation deliberate, we make different kinds of choices. We have gratitude. We breathe. We actually slow down. We savor our food. And like the Buddhist monk says, we are giving goodness. We're receiving goodness. We're honoring our bodies as if food is a gift. Actually, gift was not gift and gratitude were not on the bubbles on the second bubble sheet. But imagine eating as a meditation, to be very deliberate about how we are honoring ourselves and in every little bite for bite what choices we make, because food is how we feel. And we're going to get to that and talk to you about that in a minute. If you look at the Japanese culture and how they eat, every chopstick, every bite, it's deliberate intentions. So even the organization of food. And I taught this eating as meditation course before with another group a few years back. And one of the things that one of the participants shared with us was she actually put her Wedgwood china in her office to remind herself that this is an honorable event, right? So an honorable event is giving us the nourishment that we really need, that is going to help us perform at our best and help us feel good. Because we know that some of the junk food and the sugars and things like that, that's only temporary. And I'll tell you exactly how the science works behind that. But also chewing slowly and breathing. How many people are taking more than 20 minutes to actually enjoy eating? Are you sitting at your desk and shoveling food in your mouth in front of your desk and completely unconscious? This is one of the hardest things all of my clients struggle with. They're like, okay, I got the macros. I know what to do. Like, I know what to eat. I'm in practice of that. But when I say take 20 minutes, it takes 20 minutes for your body to fully recognize that you're full, for your stomach to signal to your brain that that's happening. Takes 20 minutes. And some people don't even take 20 minutes to actually breathe and eat. So the manner in which you eat is part of the honor system. It's about honoring yourself, to give yourself that 20-minute break, to breathe and tune in, hone in those antennas, the intuition antennas, and say, wait a minute, am I full? Wait a minute, take a pause. Am I breathing? That's another thing. Clients forget to breathe because they're so stressed out all day long. They forget to breathe. And just by taking deliberate action of noticing your breath, you can reduce anxiety, you can improve digestion. And again, noticing your breath is bringing full awareness to yourself. And that's where it all begins. If you guys have questions, feel free to chat it into the box and, let's make this a dialogue. Your environment. Eating as a meditation is also about your environment. If you look at certain cultures, it should be uncluttered and clean, because what we visually see, we associate ourselves with. Sometimes I suggest, well, light a candle when dinner begins. Set the table so there's no bills piled up. That's very stressful. Your body is actually listening to that visual of all your bills piling up on your, kitchen table. But imagine if you could have bowls that make you happy, that make your place setting peaceful. This is about deliberate honoring yourself. Who has time for that, you say? Well, just this one little action can start turning things around. I would love to challenge you to try to do that this week. But even putting your utensils down between each bite, listening to your breath, checking in with yourself in a clean, uncluttered environment, a spiritual, sanctuary of eating. Okay. And you can utilize your favorite plates and bowls that make you happy, in your cups, light a candle, even if it's lunchtime in the middle of the day, who cares? It's a celebration, and a spiritual celebration of honoring yourself. And I don't know how many people actually do yoga practice. And what are some of the benefits of yoga practice is really, it's not so much about the stretching and postures, and you could do that, boring. I mean, if you can do that, fantastic. If you don't, that's fine. The benefits of yoga practice is bringing mind body awareness and hyper tuning in those antennas of intuition. It's bringing awareness to your breath. And when you bring awareness to your breath and mindfulness and that focus, you are actually self-regulating your body. Our bodies want to heal. Our bodies want to get back to normal body compositions, healthy body compositions, not normal in like Vogue magazine spreads. It doesn't have to be that way. It's about a healthy body composition when you have full mobility and energy throughout the day. It increases your flexibility and all that stuff. But the most important benefits of yoga practice, it really changes your mental state of being and awareness. It's a great practice to develop awareness. I remember when after my dad died, and one of the reasons why I got into health coaching many years ago is I took care of my dad, who had stage 4 cancer for 10 years. And I was living in Boston. He was down in New Jersey. And I was going back and forth in the middle of my master's program at night, driving 4 hours like crazy after my class to make sure that I was there for him after his surgery. The reason why I'm doing this, and my motivation, my life motivation in health coaching, is I want to help people prevent a bad wake-up call. It is so heartbreaking when you know that someone is so special, and everybody's special, okay? Everybody has something to contribute in this world. That their time is taken so quickly without any alert. You can go anytime. And so life is incredibly fragile. And that's why I'm doing this. I want to help you get away from that bad wake-up call. And this self-regulation is a physical healing process. And so this is what I teach in all my programs. So nourishment, both on and off the plate, it's about habit changes. And we can't change habits until we notice what those habits are. What are you doing Are you staying up till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, feeding your brain with TV junk? So where does the negative Nelly end up going? She shows up first thing in the morning. She tells you, God, you're so tired. You're such a lazy piece of blah. You know, how many people have heard that negative Nelly come up? You know, your habits are critical to your success. And there is no such thing as habit training school. But you can receive support in containers like this to really start noticing your everyday habits. And the mindset piece is critical. It's everything. Because as soon as you're out of the gate, yeah, yes to negative Nelly. Yeah. As soon as you're out of the gate with negative Nelly, you've lost the battle. You've lost. So we don't want to lose. We deserve to win. We're worthy of winning. We're worthy of grace and compassion. So, so really making peace with food is about freedom. Freedom across all areas of life. And it's not just about eat this and not that. It actually pervades every aspect of your life. So, God, you're like, well, how do you make changes? So it's literally starting with very simple steps and then taking a look at other aspects of your life and how it relates. We're going to go to Golden Key too. What's the food science? So, fat loss and weight loss, permanent healthy body composition is a hormonal game. And it's about insulin resistance and blood sugar balance. So if you're insulin resistant or pre-diabetic or maybe type 2 diabetes, when you have obesity, when you have an extra more than 20 pounds of body fat hanging around, it's unhealthy. It's not a vanity thing. It literally somersaults into this whole metabolic issue. And it changes your actual biometrics. And so it's like, it's not about vanity. It's not about looking really skinny mini and looking vogue, it's about healing your body for long term. And when we heal our body for long term, we have joy. And I would love for you guys to think about, just like what Monica shared in the beginning, she would do anything for her dog, Bubba. She would go to the ends of the earth. I would love for you to go to the ends of the earth for yourself. So the foods that we eat actually increase our hunger. Foods that are highly processed actually increase our hunger hormone. It actually switches on the hormone that says we're hungry. And foods that actually are in processed foods that are packaged, wrapped, and overly processed actually decreases our leptin hormone. And our leptin hormone tells our brain, signals to our brain that we are full. So these processed foods that you may be having on a daily basis is really messing up your hormones. That's real science. And you know what? Sugar has zero nutrients, zero vitamins, zero minerals, zero enzymes, zero fiber. It has no benefit whatsoever. You're like, well, how do I get rid of sugar? It's in everything. It truly is. And we're eating 4, 5, 6, 10 times more than what the American Heart Association recommends for daily consumption of sugar. This is why we feel sick. And foods that have a lot of sugar are being marketed as healthy foods. Honey Nut Cheerios is garbage. Yoplait yogurt has 26 grams of sugar. That's almost 7 teaspoons of sugar in that little freaking cup. Even jarred tomato sauces have lots of sugar. Even your ketchup So if you're slathering your ketchup on top of your fries that were cooked in canola oil, highly inflammatory. So if you think you have chronic pain right now and you have joint issues, you are putting propane on top of a slow burning flame. So here, just wanted to give you this quick little example. This is a standard American diet that someone thinks that they're being pretty healthy. And this, just think about your daily diet. So this person, let's call her Jenny. Jenny wakes up and she has a cup of Honey Nut Cheerios, right? That's 10 grams of sugar. That's 2.5 teaspoons. And who has only 1 cup of Honey Nut Cheerios, by the way? It's probably more like 2, right? On the way to work, she stops at Starbucks and picks up a Frappuccino. And yes, load that baby with that whipped cream, and the extra sugar juice, right? That's another 69 grams of sugar. At lunch, she's being healthy. She has a spinach salad with cranberries, right? That's pretty healthy, 4 grams. And then, but instead of soda, she's going to have the iced tea because that's healthier, right? This is a myth, right? Iced tea versus Coca-Cola, 36 grams of sugar. And then 3 o'clock rolls around and she's in the office or working from home and she says, I need a snack. I'm crashing. And she says, well, I'll be healthy. This Larabar is very clean. It's another 23 grams of sugar. And then at dinner, she's sitting down with her husband and she's eating a whole, foods meal, and it's healthy roasted chicken and half a sweet potato. Only 4 grams of sugar, okay? And then at dinner, they're like, let's sit down to watch the tube. And here comes the Ben and Jerry's. This person who thinks they're being very healthy had 170 grams of sugar. That's 42.5 teaspoons. What does the American Heart Association recommend? For women, I think it's 6 teaspoons of sugar a day for the American Heart Association to recommend. So 6 times 42, 36. So it's like 7 to 10 times the amount of sugar. And this is all that this person is eating. So I want you to think about your daily consumption and what you're eating. Even without the Frappuccino, it's 25 teaspoons of sugar, which is still 4 times what the American Heart Association recommends. So this person thinks that they're being pretty healthy is 4 times over what the American Heart Association recommends for added sugars in their diet. So what is going on, man? All of these sugars are hidden in these foods and these processed foods. And it's keeping you hooked. You know why? Guess what? I worked in the food industry. I work with food scientists at one of the biggest candy companies in the world. In my corporate days, I worked for the M&M's company, and we designed food bars with chemicals in it that actually keeps you hooked. It keeps you addicted. So even just a little bit actually keeps you hooked. So part of this is not your fault, actually. I mean, you have to take responsibility too, but the food industry has made us fail. The health industry has made us fail. This is the type of information that needs to be really shared. Okay. So if you want, you could take a screenshot of this and look at this. Look at your diet and see what 4 grams of sugar on a package is 1 teaspoon of sugar. I want you to start calculating how much sugar you're having in one day. This is the mechanics, okay? This is not the emotional part, but this starts when we have more information at our fingertips, we start making different kinds of decisions. So food is really medicine. And we don't want to stick on this left-hand side of the cabinet. And believe it or not, on the right-hand side, actually eating real living food can save our lives. This is anti-nutrients. anti-nutrients because it actually sabotages what feeling good. It sabotages that Minute Maid orange juice has 26 grams for an 8-ounce glass. That's 6 teaspoons of sugar in one orange juice. And isn't orange juice supposed to give us vitamin C? Right? No. That is, and permanent fat loss is about balancing your blood sugar. And we want to stay away from metabolic disorders. I'm going to just rewind for a second. This is what we want to get away from, the breakdown. If you are insulin resistant, then you're constantly hungry, even after you've eaten. And those are the chemicals that keep your brain hooked. And believe it or not, it is designed to keep you hooked. I've worked in the food labs. I know what they put in there. So 6 teaspoons for women in one day. And that little illustration of that food day for that person, less the frappuccino, is over 25 grams of sugar, 25 teaspoons of sugar. So this is where we want to be. Food can be real medicine. Food that is nutrient rich, that's alive, that's living, that nourishes us. And believe it or not, and I always say this to my clients, light and leafy makes you light and leafy. All right. I'm not saying that I have opinions about vegan eating. But really what you want to do is eat as closest to the source as possible. Okay. You want to eat as closest to the source as possible, meaning, in Paleolithic ancestral times, what we hunted and gathered and picked from trees, that's what was available to us. And some days there was no food anywhere to be found, and they survived, and they were much healthier than we are today. So this is what it needs to look like. And we could go all night with this, but we're not going to. We're going to get into Golden Key 3. So Golden Key 1 was awareness, right? Take a pause, awareness of your patterns and behaviors, and knowing what you're doing, how the manner in which you're eating. And Golden Key 2 is know what's in your food, really, and the science behind insulin resistance and why you're hooked to sugars and processed foods. It really sabotages our body's ability to go back to homeostasis. And Golden Key 3 is what you eat is how you feel. What you eat is how you feel. And I'm going to get into the science of that. So when you have that cupcake and that ice cream, we feel emotionally comforted. And why do we feel like okay for a little bit? Because it's actually hitting 2 pathways of our feel-good hormones. It's a neurotransmitter pathway that signals to our brain that we feel good. Dopamine is the reward center. It's dopamine lights up when somebody's on cocaine or on speed. It promotes compulsion and pleasure and euphoria. So when you have actually that ice cream or the Ben and Jerry's or that cupcake, it is actually hitting a pathway of dopamine. So it's hitting your pleasure hormone. It is also going down the path of serotonin, your feel-good hormones, where you feel safe and you feel secure. That's when you feel happy. And it's better for cognition, being able to think straight, to sleep better, all of those things. So these 2 pathways is exactly what lights up in our brain when we have sugar or when we're overeating. That temporary pathway is being lit up. Does anybody have questions? I'm just going on and on. Any questions, please chat your questions in. So this is the science of what you eat is how you feel. So imagine if we can feel pleasure and euphoria from different means. What if I'm just going to challenge you, think about this on your notebook. What are the other ways you could feel pleasure? Pleasure can come in touch, hugging, feeling accepted and loved. How does Monica care for Bubba? She pets him and holds him and makes him feel safe. Bubba knows that Monica's there to the ends of the earth to take care of him. That is serotonin. That's our feel-good hormone. So what if we changed our definition of that Ben and Jerry's or the cupcake to be something else that could light up our dopamine pathways and our feel-good hormones? And part of what we eat actually truncates this pathway too. And I can get into that in a second. When we are stressed, when we are, feeling joy and present, it actually has physical attributes to it. Our digestion is better. Our intestinal motility is better. Our resistance to infection is more stronger. Our immune response is stronger. Our rest and recuperation is more, is quicker to recover. Our circulation is better. We have a better release of oxytocin. Oxytocin is the love hormone. So when you feel joy and present and compassionate and mindful, actually all of your systems come into checks and balances. But as soon as the arousal, meaning stress, increases, what happens? Panic, fear, anxiety, maybe even rage and anger or irritation comes into place. That is in your brain, right? That's the negative Nelly that starts coming in and starts producing anxiety. And what is that signal to our nervous system? Your blood pressure goes up, insulin activity goes down, you start storing body fat, your digestion decreases, your heart rate increases, even your blood clotting increases. So you don't even have circulation. Your blood is not flowing as much. And when you get into actual panic freeze mode, when you're just so overwhelmed, so emotionally disengaged, what is happening to our bodies? Our bodies are actually preparing for death. Our bodies are actually preparing for death. And we are conserving energy. That means store body fat because you're going to die. Store body fat and actually bring your heart rate down, actually change your social behavior so that you're in survival mode. So when that stress goes into overwhelm, it gets into I can't. And your physical body starts changing in terms of its ability to lose body fat naturally, to bring your blood sugar down. And what did I say? Golden key number 3 is about insulin resistance and a balanced blood sugar throughout the day. So what you do eat is how you feel. And it has direct physical effects. And so, stress can lead to poor eating habits. It's like a vicious cycle. Overeating, consuming unhealthy foods, going on bad diets, shakes, forgetting to drink water, right? And when we get into the stress cycle, you get into I cannot control. and your thoughts and emotions come into this very stressful internal dialogue. Negative Nelly comes into play, and our bodies start shutting down. So for midlife women in their 40s, 50s, and 60s especially, we're going through hormonal changes. We're aging, but we have a choice to age gracefully and beautifully and loving ourselves compassionately. And I really believe in compassionate weight loss, not a punishing kind of way, what you see on the internet and television. That's punishment. It's like, go beat up your body, you know? But there's a way to compassionately lose body fat and feel good about yourself long term. And again, it's about feeding your body with the right fuel, feeding your senses, feeding your thoughts, and feeding your motivations and what drives you. So it's about feeling, doing things in terms of those steps, and being. So again, I don't think I have a summary slide, but number one is about taking pause. It's saying yes to yourself. It's saying, yes, I am worthy and I can do this. But the only way we could start doing that is starting to create awareness and intuition about what is happening right now. How is your behavior and the dialogue in your brain constantly interfering with the goodness that you deserve, the hands open, the blessings. So I'm going to take a pause here. Does anybody have any questions? We're about 8:10, and I want to leave a few minutes for questions and dialogue. Anybody, what did you get away? What did you take away with this so far? What is one thing that resonated most with you? Anybody want to share? Go ahead, Monica. You can unmute yourself.
Um, probably educated. Didn't know, had an idea that there were chemicals, put in the food and chemicals put in it to keep certain foods fresh and stuff like that. But I didn't know that purposely it was put in there. Food corporations to actually serve a purpose of activating those parts of our brain.
Absolutely.
That's kind of scary. That's kind of like mind control.
It is. It is. So what could we do about that, Monica? What would you do differently about that, knowing that information?
I've always wanted to be able to eat from a plate because my grandmother used to say eat from the ground, which means, things that are grown from the ground and from the trees, that's the best thing to eat. So that's been incorporated in my life, but I have let myself not let myself, but I've come to, get hooked on the sugar, the caffeine, all the other products that are out there. And I'm willing to eliminate all processed food from my plate because my mom, that's pretty much what she does. Every time she's like, that's processed, that's processed. And she's been through a couple of health issues. So she pretty much eats vegetables, fruit, and stuff like that. That's all that she pretty much eats. So I'm willing and able to do that.
So we have some chats coming in. Don't eat anything that your grandma wouldn't recognize as food. Correct, right? I mean, remember grandma making yes, that I love that, Katya. Yeah, like she was making homemade chicken soup, not out of a box. What is in that box anyway? And I know we're all time strapped and we're busy people in contemporary modern society, but whatever we could do to take control over our plate, over our bowl, over our gratitude of blessing. Food is a blessing. It's honoring. It's an honor system. It's honoring yourself in the manner in which we eat and what we eat. So, and then Barb says, my takeaway is how much metabolic health is affected, how much damage sugar can do daily. Absolutely. If you have joint pain, it will amplify joint pain. Yeah, because basically it's a non-food, it's an anti-nutrient. Anti-nutrient. It will, anything you think you're doing that's like healthy, like taking nice supplements on a daily basis, but you're still on those processed foods and having sugar, you're actually wasting your money on those supplements and the healthy farmers market foods that you picked up. Because if you're still having a significant amount of sugar, more than 6 teaspoons of sugar a day, that's as the American Heart Association recommends, you are having anti-nutrients that affect your ability to actually absorb real nutrition. Someone gave me that advice. Will we receive the recording? So this is a live training. I wanted people to show up. And that's why I'm recording this for myself as a teaching tool. But I want you guys to come back tomorrow night. This is a container of learning. So I gave you some information today, maybe some new information. And we're going to go into Golden Rules 4 and 5 tomorrow and really wrap up and talk a little bit more. So I would love that dialogue tomorrow, since we're only going over 2 rules tomorrow. But I'm also going to give you a lot more information again tomorrow night. So unfortunately, this recording will not be sent out because 30 people signed up for this. And I said, no replays. I wanted people to show up, because if you don't show up, there's not this opportunity to really get laser coaching, get the support in a container like this, and sharing. That's where you get application. And nobody even watches replays anyway. That's the truth of it all, really. They're like, yeah, I'll watch it, but then they don't really watch it. So Katya, please come back tomorrow. I would love to see you again tomorrow. And tomorrow, I'm going to go over Golden Rules 4 and 5 and do a summary of everything. But I want to leave you with this. Has anybody heard of the metta meditation? Okay, so let's just finish with it's a gratitude, loving kindness meditation. And so I want you to take a comfortable seat, and we'll just end with this. And all right, so just take a comfortable seat if you want, in your chairs and with a straight back, relaxed body. What I could do for those of you who attended, and please put your name. So I have a checklist of who attended. Everybody, if you haven't put if you haven't put a message in the chat box, say I'm here. And then those of you who attended, I'm going to send this presentation to. Okay, I'll send you a link to the presentation. How's that? Is that fair? That would be great. So if you haven't actually commented, please put your name in so we have like a little running attendance. Awesome. Okay, Barb, you got it. So take a comfortable seat, and just gonna cue up a good song here. I'm so grateful that you joined me. And again, for those of you who joined late, I am passionate about helping you master your relationship with food, help you to effortlessly and intuitively lose weight that will change your health around. I want to help you have absolute clarity around what's sabotaging you. Because as a great coach, I am an active observer in your life. And when you show up in a container like this, you get valuable coaching experience. And this is absolutely for free. So when you come tomorrow, when you show up, when you say, here, I am here and I would like help, then that dialogue you're going to directly benefit from. And I want you to walk away with some tools to think about. And we're going to really be able to start finding a new vision for ourselves. So I'm grateful that you showed up tonight. I'm so like I'm transmitting energy and love to every single one of you here because I know the pains and struggles and the limiting beliefs that you've been living with for a long time. And I want you to know that you're acknowledged and you're accepted here and that it is totally possible. It is totally possible to turn your health around and totally turn the vision around of yourself. So let's take a comfortable seat, and whether you're in prayer mode, I want you to close your eyes. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Hold for a couple seconds and release. And I want you to cycle a few cycles of breath through your nose, in through your nose, hold for 2 or 4 seconds, and then just release. And as you release, I want you to notice any tension that you need to let go of. And we will begin with this meditation, and it's a loving kindness meditation. I want you to repeat after me, either out loud in the room or in your head, the words that I'm about to share with you. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be free of suffering. May I live in peace. May my life be blessed with ease. Gonna go again. May I be happy. Repeat after me. May I be healthy. May I be free of suffering. May I live in peace. May my life be blessed with ease. Take a deep breath into that. May my life be blessed with ease. Say that to your brain. Say that to negative Nelly. May my life be blessed with ease. Now I want you to think of someone you love. Maybe it's Bubba or somebody. I want you to repeat after me. Think of someone you love and dearly care about and want to send this loving kindness energy to. And I want you to repeat after me. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be free of suffering. May you live in peace. May your life be blessed with ease. I want you to envision that person in your mind. Maybe it's yourself. Maybe you need to tell yourself this. Envision that person standing in front of you with warm golden light. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be free of suffering. May you live in peace. May your life be blessed with ease. Beloved, may your life be blessed with ease. Take a few deep breaths into that. And really let those words soak into your subconscious. And compassionate grace. And I want you to open your hands in front of you like you're receiving, like at church, or receive. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be free of suffering. May you live in peace. May your life be blessed with ease. Couple more breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. Emptying your belly. I'm transmitting loving kindness energy to you all. And I am so grateful that you were able to join me tonight. And I can't believe I'm ending actually 5 minutes early, but I'm going to stay on. If you have any questions right now, please let me know. I really would love for you to come back tomorrow because it's the grand finale. It's only a 2-day training. And if you liked what you received tonight, tomorrow is even going to be better. This is a container for you. And this is an opportunity to continue on this journey, you know. And I know each and every one of you showed up here because you really need this. You needed to hear this. And there was a reason why you got on the call. 30 people registered for this because there's a lot of pain and suffering around this issue of food and self-loathing. And I would love for you to have a newfound confidence and love for yourself to go to the ends of the world for yourself. So I'm here for you. If you want to ask any questions, receive laser coaching. But if you need to go, I invite you back tomorrow. Keep an eye out for the links and to join again tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I honor you and I honor your time and I honor you tonight for showing up for yourself and meeting yourself here. So thank you so much. Thank you. I'll see you tomorrow night. So I'll hang out for a little bit longer. If you guys want to ask any questions, I'm here for you. Thanks, Joanne. Good to see you, my love. All right, so Christine, Don Sherry, Katia, Laurie, Christine, you guys, Barb, I'll send you a link to this, okay? But I can't send a replay to everybody who didn't show up. So for those of you who showed up, I will send you the replay. All right, thanks for
I'm grateful for your knowledge and for your time.
thank you so much. Thank you for sharing,